treat tonight. Last Friday after the show, I didn't join you guys at the usual Life and Times After show party because I went over to Plaza de la Raza where there was a farewell dinner.
It's not a party, we work.
Where Father Gregory Boyle was being given a farewell by his parish, by community leaders, by many people who have been in touch with him. He is the parish priest at Dolores Mission, and he's been there for several years, left an incredible mark on a lot of people in the community. We're going to be taking out a special videotape that was made by several young people from Boyle Heights about Gregory Boyle and his leaving. We're going to roll that tape for you right now.
He's always been there for us. Whenever I need him, he's been there for me. I could talk to him. I mean, I wouldn't even step into a church before I met him. I wouldn't. I mean, before I started to get to know him, I wouldn't.
It just really hurts to see him hurt. You know, that, like, his expression in his face, like, it's always in me. And, like, there's this picture I have in my room where he's just like this, looking like, no, don't do it or something, you know. And when, like, I feel like if I did something bad, I come in and I see his picture and it's like, oh, Father Greg. I think about Father Greg and it's like...
Because the police always wanted him out. Because they always thought he was helping us in wrong ways, but it was good ways. Like, he would give us jobs and everything. He would help us out. He would take us to eat when we were hungry. The cops just wanted to throw our asses in jail. He wanted to help us and make something of ourselves.
I think he's the only person I could lean my shoulder to. You know, tell everything to him. You know, I have friends, but I can't express myself to them. I don't know why. I tell them, you know, this and that. But Father Greg, I don't know, I have to tell him everything. Like, yeah, he's, you know, he's always, he like, to me, is that he saved my life.
He tried to help everybody, try to give everybody a job. You know, instead of being out there in the streets, getting shot, getting killed, or we shooting somebody. So he puts us to work, and, you know, when we come out of work, we get be tired, we just go to sleep.
Oh, he got me a job right here. Like, I barely could start working 2 days ago. That made me feel alright, because, you know, he got me a job. You don't want me to be selling dope out there, so that makes me think he cares about us.
Joining us in the studio now is Father Gregory Boyle, the pastor of Dolores Mission in Boyle Heights. Thanks for coming on the show.
It was my pleasure.
Greg. So last Friday at Plaza de la Raza was a pretty fascinating event, very emotional too. How did you feel when looking at that video and all the farewells from the kids?
It was supposed to be a surprise, I guess. So the homies had sort of leaked it out 3 times. They say, "Boy, wait till you see the video." I said, "What video?" And they went, you know, they kind of. So I knew there was a video, but of course, I didn't know what was going to be on it. It was very moving and very funny and great.
How does it feel to be leaving after all these years? You've been there how many years now?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, well, I hope that this is just a respite. I hope that I'll be able to come back. I mean, my provincial has all but assured me that I will, so I hope that I will.
This is not the time to be modest. What would you characterize as among your best accomplishments in your time there?
Well, I don't know. I don't think we're really called, I'm not called to be successful, but to be faithful, and I don't know what our success is really, and, you know, I think kids have experienced at that place and in the community, especially from the women and from the parish team, a sense of acceptance. You know, what they know more than anything else is rejection. They're kind of experts at kind of receiving that from the community at large. And I don't think they ever got that at Dolores Mission, and I think that's an enlightened approach to gangs.
Father, in preparing for the show, I got a copy of the Los Angeles Times magazine profile that was done of you some months ago. And in there was buried a nugget that you'd begun your priestly duties in Bolivia. Mm-hmm. Contrast those experiences working in the Bolivian village and now in Boyle Heights as to how that is the continuation of a mission that you're serving in the Jesuits, or just how does it work out?
Well, at that time, Bolivia was the poorest country in the hemisphere. And it was an extraordinary moment in my life because it sort of turned me inside out as far as listening to the poor, having every confidence that they have the best take and analysis on what the problem is in their community and therefore what the solutions will be. That's the carryover for me in my community. Would that city officials or Rebuild LA or anybody else would listen to the folks in my community and ask them, you know, like, where do you think gangs come from and what's it about and what would you do?
Has anyone ever tried that?
Not really. You get, you know, a scattershot thing. You get some people. Councilman Wu, for example, came down once because he wanted to listen to folks. You know, you'll get the occasional and rare visit. But by and large, you think people in power think they know what the solution is because they think they know what the problem is. And, of course, they don't.
Well, some people in power, including some police authorities, have looked at you with suspicion at worst, askance at best, because the sense is that you are accommodating gang members and what it is that they have done. Is this a case in your sense of hating the sin but loving the sinner to get the message across to them?
Well, I guess, I mean, I have to kind of follow the gospel in any case, and that's going to direct my strategy. But I've been on any number of panels with law enforcement, and they always say the same thing about gangs. They said, this is our strategy. We want to make life as miserable as we possibly can for the gang member, which is a very redundant concept in my community. We don't need outside help to make life miserable there. And so that's what's sort of been the operative principle for them. And it's a failure, quite apart from the fact that it's morally a failure and unconscionable, really. It doesn't work. It's never worked, And so they see my approach, which is alternative education, jobs, and kind of an acceptance and a love, as sort of naive and out of touch, and I think they're wrong. I mean, I think
How
you
well
could
do
prove
you
it.
think your methods have worked?
Well, I mean, the only thing I know that quiets the bullets in my community is a job, and right now I have 60 strategically hired gang kids from about 10 different gangs who are working, and in any number, I've had about 270 gang kids over the course of 4 years who've gotten jobs through this program. But right now I have 60 that I pay for and write more rubber checks than the U.S. congressman, I might add. And because I struggle, because the alternative is unacceptable, is to kind of not have them working, gives them the free time to bang. But if they're working, they have a reason to get up in the morning and a reason, more importantly, not to gang bang at night. And that's the only thing I know that really works.
And Father, how about the question of, will the gains made in the community, will they stay in place? Will they continue to grow? A couple of years ago, Father Luis Olivares left his parish position at La Placita. It had been kind of like a bed for activism through the church in Los Angeles, and when he left, the change, a backlash against what he'd established there was pretty quick in coming. What have you done to ensure that the same thing wouldn't happen at Dolores Mission? Well,
we have a different kind of community, the Placita, for all the great things that happened there. The people came from all over the city to go there. Here we have, it's the projects, Aliso Village, Pico Gardens. Yeah. And over the 6 years, these programs are owned and operated by the people. We have 140 homeless people, undocumented, who live there. And when the new guy came in, he's been here for some time, people met with them, with a new pastor, and said, we house the homeless, we feed the hungry, we welcome the stranger and the gang member, we have an alternative school, daycare center. If you want to do that, aquí tiene su casa, this is your place. If you don't, you need to find another place to work. So they really ran it down to them. They were real clear. This is what we do here, and we want you to join us, but this is what we do.
Does the church, Father Boyle, and I don't mean just the Jesuits or the diocese, but does the church at large have any idea what it needs to do in the inner city? You're on the cutting edge of it, but has that message gone up?
I don't think so. Again, I think a lot of people think they know what the answers are because they, ruminate about them from some other locale instead of going to the people and trusting that monolingual, many illiterate Mexicanos know what they're talking about. They're absolutely experts and have never been consulted. And I think we've sort of seen what a great tragedy that is, because you have Operation Hammer and all sorts of things that come from some other place where people really have a bad take on this mess. And would that the church, as well as the politicians, would consult the people who know the most.
What about the future in terms of the gang problem? I mean, everybody's been talking about it recently, mostly in terms of what's been going on in South Central, with so far a truce that's holding, that's impressed many people. Latino gangs so far, I've heard of some talks going on here or there, but nothing that's really taken hold, nothing nearly as dramatic as in South Central. Why not? And what needs to be done to get to that level?
I'm not sure why it hasn't. I mean, we weren't quite at the epicenter of this thing, if there was an epicenter.
You've engineered some truces yourself.
Yeah, and it's my least favorite thing, because it's not, who among us who know anything about this ever thought that that's what it, you just wanted kids to just say no to gangs in some kind of gracious moment. It doesn't work that way, All of this is symptom of all these deep problems. Unless you address the problems of massive joblessness and grinding poverty and dysfunctional families, unless you address that, no truce is ever going to stop this mess.
Well, we hope it will. We know that Boyle Heights wasn't named after you, but if your parishioners had a vote, it would be, I think. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck.
Okay.
We solicit your comments on this and on all the other programs that we do, and please send them to Viewer Comments, care of the KCET Newsroom at 4401 Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California 90027, or called to 213-667-9371. And whether you write or call, be sure to include your phone number and permission to use your comments on the air. We also have a bulletin board of the air to offer you tonight, several events around Los Angeles that we would hope you would take part in. The first, if we could see an address there, this is a public forum to decide what to do with the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner building, the defunct newspaper. This building was designed by Julia Morgan, who was Hearst's architect. It's a beautiful building. They want to pave Paradise and put up a parking lot. Bring in your ideas to the community forum, USC Harris Hall, room 101, Saturday. That's tomorrow, June 27th. The telephone number is 623-CITY.
And if you are a not-for-profit employer or a person in the independent sector and you would like some free help, a 14 to 21-year-old, the City of Los Angeles would like to help your business, your not-for-profit entity. Call the Summer Youth Employment Program, 213-485-9559, to discover if your business is eligible, your not-for-profit is eligible for some free help through the Summer Jobs Program.
And some very important news for a lot of people that might not have heard. There was a suit that against the federal government brought by the ACLU, Legal Aid Foundation, and others for the federal government to provide emergency food stamps for people who were affected by the riots. If you need these stamps, you haven't heard about it, there is some emergency federal stamps available. So you can call the Legal Aid Foundation at the number up on there, 1-800-499-1163. Esto se trata de estampillas de emergencia de comida para la gente que fue afectada por los disturbios. Entonces, si usted tiene una emergencia, si tiene problemas en conseguir comida para su familia, puede llamar a ese número, Legal Aid Foundation, 1-800-499-1163, para estampillas de comida para su familia. And finally, there is a Latino Unity Forum that will be occurring. This is another post-riot news item. Several Latino community leaders, politicians, business leaders, everybody from Dora Alicia Arcon, from the Street Vendors Association to others will be there at Adams Junior High School. This is tomorrow, Saturday, at 151 West 30th Street, the corner of 30th and Broadway. Latino Unity Forum between 8:30 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. It's free of charge.
And I'm going to kick off.
Well, we have one more.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it wasn't quite finally. This is a big moment of a big weekend. The Gay and Lesbian Pride Parade begins Sunday at 11 a.m. It will go down Santa Monica Boulevard between Crescent Heights and Robertson. But the entire weekend will be given over to events. The parade, of course, is the highlight of this.
And I actually think that the big event of the weekend is tomorrow, and I'm going to plug my radio show on KFI AM 640. Tomorrow at noon, I have the author of this book, The Other Side. That author happens to be Ruben Martinez. Ruben is going to join me for his first book promotion interview for 2 hours. And Life and Times fans can call Ruben by calling KFI tomorrow at 12 and tell him what you really think of The Other Side.
Very slick, very kind of you, Hugh. Thanks. Well, what are the final thoughts today? Anybody have any?
This is really a cutting-edge weekend, the turnaround of leadership in the LAPD. And even though the swearing in isn't until Tuesday, I just think the whole city is going to have an emotional response to this changeover. I hope we do.
Well, I'm sorry to see, even as good new leadership in the police department comes, leadership like Father Boyle leaving. I hope he comes back.
Okay. Well, we're going to say goodbye to you now pretty quickly. We run out of time. We're going to leave you with some more kids from Boyle Heights saying goodbye to Father Greg on a video produced by the youths themselves. For Pat Morrison and Hugh Hewitt, I'm Ruben Martinez. Join us next time on Life and Times.
10 months vacation, come back. I'll be ready for you to come back and work for you more. Smoke a weekend. Bye.
And anything else?
Well, I love him very much. Aquí in Mexico, in las pandillas del barrio, we love him very much. We love him with our heart. He's our querurris.
Take it easy, G. Love you. Hang in there, you know. Haircut for men if they have one.
Just shine it every day, G. Shine it every day, G.
I won't be able to do it. I don't think I could let go in the face and say bye.
Goodbye, G-Dog.
Later on, G. Take care and come back soon. We're right there.
Adiós, Father. Lo vamos a extrañar.
We are grateful for what you have done, and we will carry it on. And I think that's the best thing we can say. We are going to carry it on. It won't be quite the same. It'll be different. And who knows, it'll even be better. Because it'll keep growing out of what you've started.
All right, G. See you later, Pete. I just want to tell him I'm sorry for lying to him, you know what I'm saying? That's it, man.
Bye, G.
Wish you the best of luck, G. Hope to see you soon again. George saying adios.
Bye, G.
Thanks a lot, G. I love you.
We're gonna wait for him so he could marry us, me and Smiley.
You're not on. Oh, don't leave me. Okay. Please. Okay. Well, can I add one more line?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Okay. One very important thing I must say that I enjoyed about Greg is his great sense of humor, which helped work here.
Just stay strong, Father Greg. Peace out.
Take care. Peace.